Hello, here we are. Alive, kind of. Let's do some talking. Here I am. Have you noticed I've been gone? It was very unintentional. So, let's just talk about life. I got the big C, and it was expected but unexpected. So, long story short, we went to a funeral at the middle of September, and unbeknownst to us, there were several people who were sick. So there were many people who ended up testing positive from that, my husband being one of them. And he just got, normal sick. It was nothing too crazy, thankfully. There were a couple days that he was pretty sick. He, missed a lot of work. And at about his 10-day was the first day I got a little tickle back there. And so I kind of had a cough and I had a headache, and that was it. So after about 2 days, I went and was tested, and it was positive. Now I was thinking, this isn't too bad. I can handle a headache and a cough. And it was stayed about that for about almost my full 10 days. And I was like, great, like my 10 days are coming up. Amazing. I don't remember the next 2 weeks after that. So somehow what I'm thinking happened was I just felt like this tickle, but my throat was really dry. So I started sleeping with a humidifier. Do not do that. I have learned there isn't any full confirmation that it's bad, but what I was told in the hospital when I went and I ended up having to go to the emergency room, and they told me, don't do that anymore. Turn it off. They just try to keep COVID, I guess, really dry. Everything really dry. They're like, normally we don't even give IV fluids, but I had also had, with all of that, the stomach COVID stuff, both ends, So they were like, we're gonna give you fluids simply just because of that. Anyways, so things went real downhill real fast for me. I ended up getting COVID pneumonia, which is what I was meaning with the humidifier. It did not go well. I went to the emergency room. I was put on home oxygen, and I was probably on oxygen for 7-8 days, and I don't remember much of anything. There was lots of nausea. I couldn't eat anything, and I had a really, really, really 107 fever for a few days. So I was just throwing up a lot, and then to keep my fever down was taking lots of ibuprofen and Tylenol, which I was prescribed by the hospital, but it was I was taking it on an empty stomach, and so then I was just lots of throwing up, couldn't eat, just horrendous. It was horrendous, I'm not going to lie. I will be the first person to admit that COVID kicked my ass, and it was really bad, and it's still not great. So let me give you the dates. Today is October 12th. I had my first symptom of the cough, the tickle, on the 17th of September. I got tested on the 21st, got my positive on the 22nd. So was sick from the 17th to probably the 24th to the 26th. I don't know. Time is all a blur now. With just a cough and a headache and whatever. Was deathly ill. I don't even remember when I went into the hospital. I think I went to the hospital the 27th or the 28th. No. It had to have been before that. I think I went into the hospital on the 23rd. Anyways, and then like my husband had to take off work and stay home so my child could survive. She never got anything. She has been fine the whole time. We are so blessed. And so I stopped having a fever on like the 6th of October or so. It's been about a week. So I'm no longer contagious. I'm no, like, that's all done. But I have been dealing with COVID now for almost 1, 2, 3. I'm coming on 4 weeks. So I'm just like the last week I've felt better as far as like I've been off oxygen, not nauseous, the fever's gone, all of that. But I have never experienced so much exhaustion and just like brain fog out of it. Don't feel like myself at all. And they told me it's probably going to be a couple more weeks of feeling like this, which I'm just not here for. So anyways, it's been really hard to read. So I have missed a couple things, but this is a wrap up. It will say that in the thing. So I'll let you know all the stuff I did read in September, and I don't know what else I'll talk about. But let's make this part fast. Again, like always, a lot of these are in other vlogs and things that have happened. So the first thing of what I had, let me flip my calendar so I can look back and help myself. So the very first thing was the Thrill Till the Weekend, which I did not have. I planned to do a separate vlog for that, but I didn't. But there is a vlog where I talked about it. It's the sequels vlog. I'll pop that up here. So for the Thrill Till the Weekend, I DNF'd Spellbook of the Lost and Found. And this is like a young adult, magical, witchy, I don't know what it was because I didn't read that much of it. It says, if you are not careful, you can spend your whole life looking for what you've lost. One stormy summer in a small Irish town, things begin to disappear. It starts with trivial stuff, hair clips, house keys, socks, but soon it escalates to bigger things, a memory, a heart, a classmate. Olive can tell that her best friend Rose is different all of a sudden. Rose isn't talking and Olive starts to worry she's losing her. Then diary pages written by someone named Laurel begins to appear all over town, and Olive meets 3 mysterious strangers, Ivy, Hazel, and her twin brother Rowan, secretly squatting in an abandoned housing development. The trio are wild and alluring, but they seem lost too. And like Rose, they're holding tightly to painful secrets. Anyways, that sounds so good. Even I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try to read this again. But it was so confusing, so strange, not what I was looking for. Here's something I've decided also in September. I talked about it in the vlog where it's like a lot of books that are on my shelf right now were from 2 or 3 different times. I made really big, like 10 to 12 books at a time, maybe, of like having this one of those spurs of I'm gonna read books outside my comfort zone. Why do we do that? It's dumb. There's nothing wrong with trying new things, but maybe like one book and try it out. Don't buy these mass amounts of books and then hate them. You'll see in September there's just a lot of DNFs because it's just not my thing. So not my thing. In theory it sounds great. Then I listened to Forget You Know Me by Jessica Strasser, and I didn't love it. I talk a lot about it in that vlog where it started out amazing. I thought this book was going to be so good, and then it just like tanked real hard. It's basically, it starts out with this 2 friends who are on a FaceTime call together. The friend goes upstairs to put their kids to bed, and an intruder comes into the house, and like the friend is watching on FaceTime, and then dumb stuff happens. I don't know, maybe you'll really like it. Tell me if you did. I think I gave it a 2-star, I think. So then I had, like I said, that sequels vlog. where I read these 3 books. First, I listened to and then DNF'd at like 75%, The Rosie Effect. This is the second book to the Rosie Project. I really enjoy autism representation in books. I actually read another one. This, I understand why people don't enjoy this series. It's interesting to me to see someone with autism and just see how their journey is and the way their brain works, and it's fun to see different characters because autism is so different from person to person. So it's just interesting to me. But it was very dry, very boring and dull, and kind of exhausting to be in Don's mind and life that much because he is the type of autism that could get very frustrating very fast just because the OCD-ness of it all and things like that. But I'm sure there are still people who really love this book as well. I DNF'd it not because it was like I hate this book, but just because like I've got enough of this book. I don't need more. I understand where we're going here. Then I did Puddin', which is a companion novel to Dumplin. I physically read Dumplin and I loved it. Like one of my favorite YA books ever. I loved the relationship between Bo and Willadine. Like just loved it. It's one of my favorite love stories. This one, however, there was no romance in it, and I don't like YA that is not that. But I also don't like most young adult romance. As you know, I don't like romance as it is, mostly. I don't love YA very much anymore. But this was still good. It was still cute. I will keep it. And I'm sure for a young adult, this was a really cute, really nice book. But it's just too high school-y. There's a lot of high school drama. It's basically Millie Michaelchuk. It's her story. She is in Dumplin. But so she is just this sweet Southern Belle little high school girl who is fat and made fun of and, whatever. And then there's this popular girl who's on the dance team and how they end up forming like this friendship. And yeah, I gave it a 3. I don't remember. I'm not remember anything. Like I can't even hold these books up, you guys. Like my shoulder right now is burning on fire from just trying to hold it. Then we have The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. This is the 3rd book in this world. I talk quite a lot about this and my love for this book and why it's not something I would usually give a high rating. I think I gave this a 4. But because of the author's note and what this book means and what it meant for Helen to write this, just really exploded my heart. I really liked this one a lot. The romance is pretty light in it. It's much more focused just on the one character and kind of her life, and the romance is kind of on the back end, but it's still good and still sweet and highly recommend. During this time, I also started listening to Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh, and this was a situation of buying books outside my comfort zone. I don't do fantasy. So the very first blurb says, a riveting Game of Thrones meets Arabian Nights love story. 2 things I have 0 interest in. Again, a suspenseful and beautiful reimagining of the Arabian Nights with an edge. I had no idea. So is this a retelling of Arabian Nights? I didn't know Arabian Nights was even an imaginative retelling of the classic tale 1001 Nights. Fans of strong characters and fairy tale retellings will love this book. So that is not me at all. I got barely into this book, like maybe 15 pages, and I was just like, not for me at all. So I don't even have anything to give you on this. I know this book has lots of high praise from a lot of people. If you are a fantasy reader and you haven't read this one yet, I'm sure you will probably like this. Not for me. Reading my catch-ups. I was reading the books that I had started before I came back to YouTube and was in the middle of and needed to finish. So the first one I did was Survive the Night by Riley Sager, which, huge surprise to me because I thought I was going to be like the rest of everyone and hate it, and I didn't. I gave it a 4. So I talk a lot about this book in the reading vlog for this. I would say you can watch that. Also watch the discussion, book club discussion for this book from Kayla. I can't remember now who she did it with. But there was 3 of them. 2 of them hated it. 1 of them loved it. And I just thought it was really, a lot of things were talked about, and it made me think about a lot of different stuff. And very great. I also know Gabby did one as well with her mom and her sister. I haven't watched it, but I've heard that one's really good to watch as well. But I just think this is a really fun book to discuss. If you don't know yet, this is Riley Sager's 5th book, I believe. And it's different than anything he's ever done. It's like a close proximity. It's thriller-ish, mystery. It's basically set in the 80s? Nope, the 90s. It's November 1991. Nirvana's in the tape deck. George H.W. Bush is in the White House, and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man who might be a serial killer. So there's this person called the Campus Killer? I don't remember. And there's a girl who her friend was murdered by him, and now she's like goes to the rideshare boards to find someone to go home with, finds this guy who immediately she is like, is this the campus killer? And it's infuriating. It's twisty-turny. There's a lot of twists at the end that I didn't see coming. And it was just a lot of fun. I said in that where it's like, it kind of reminds me of No Exit. Not in the sense of that they're anything alike plot-wise or anything like that, but like the fun cheesiness, like unrealisticness of it is the same. It's not as high as No Exit, but if you can go into this just being like an open mind and be like, I'm just gonna have fun, and this really isn't gonna make much sense, and this person is stupid, nobody would act this way, yeah, I think you'll have a good time. I had a good time. Then I did The Accidental Beauty Queen by Terry Wilson. 2 stars, I think, is what I gave this bag of poo-poo. This was so boring. It's not a romance. It was not good. It was not a fun time. It was dumb. It's about these 2 twin sisters. One's like this nerdy bookworm. The other is a beauty queen, and they're at a pageant, and she has this allergic reaction. The beauty queen has this reaction, and so then the nerd has to be her in the pageant, and it's pretty trivial and stupid, and the love story that they wanted to put in this was the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. No, thank you. So then I did Buzzwordathon. So this month was to read books with the word dark in the title. Oh, I don't have it with me. I'm gonna pop it up. I also started reading for this Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and I am really liking it, but this is when the COVID hit. So this was when I was just like normal sick. And I was just kind of like, ooh, reading is not on my radar that much. So I was like reading that one, but I got maybe 20 pages into it. So I'm going to have to come back to that one. But I was listening to Find You in the Dark by Nathan Ripley. and have since decided to DNF it. I don't even know where I'm at. What am I doing? Oh. It doesn't give me the percentage, but it says I have 5 hours left. I'm on chapter 21. About halfway, a little over halfway. But I think I'm done listening to this. It's one of those books that it's so close to being there. When you start, I knew nothing about this book going in. Let me read the back. Oh my gosh. I was going to say, it's very Dexter-y, like when it starts. You get high Dexter vibes, and I was into that. And the blurb on the back says, gripping. Dexter fans will enjoy the creepy vibe. Look at me go, being a good reviewer. Martin Reese is obsessed with murder. For years, he's been illegally buying police files on serial killers and using them to find the missing bodies of victims. After he uncovers the bodies, he calls the police anonymously and taunts them with his finds. Martin sees his work as a public service, a righting of all the mistakes cops have made for years. I'm not going to read anymore. Because, so yeah, that's exactly how it starts out. That kind of like, is like not spoilery, but when it starts out, at least me, I was like, what is happening? Like, it's the writing style of this I don't love. This idea and the story and what's happening, I'm loving it. But it's just not my favorite writing. It really drags. It's kind of that stereotypical male thriller writing. Just the way it's written is not my favorite, and I really wanted to like it because, like, reading that, doesn't that sound so good? There's also part of it is his sister-in-law, his wife's sister, was murdered and like never found, and part of that, like what I just read, is part of like what he's doing and stuff. I don't know, it just felt like, so you read that and you're like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be fun, that's gonna be interesting and good, but it's like, for me, it just never fully went there. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It just felt like this was the depth of what could have happened, but it was written just like here. Like, I just needed more, you know? So, I don't know, maybe someday, because I have it on Scribd, so maybe I'll just keep listening to it if I run out of things to listen to or something. I don't know. Because it's still like one of those books where I'm like, well, I want to know how it ends. I got that far, but it just got to a point where I was like, I have not very much invested into this. So, then let's just talk about quickly the thing that sucks. The things that I was most excited for was the last week, the 26th to the 30th, and then I was going to continue the 1st and 2nd of October, so that full week, do a weekly reading vlog for my books that I got for Book of the Month. Because that's been one of my goals, is to read my book of the month when I get them. So that was when things really got bad. I never got to do it. They're still sitting here in the box. I was so excited for these 2 books, and so now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna do these for October because I actually am not getting any books for October from Book of the Month. There was nothing that really sparked my interest. So that's probably what I'm going to try and do, except I don't have any room in my reading plans. Okay, but anyways, those were supposed to be The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell and Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. So those were the ones that did not happen, and also I had for the buzzword This Darkness Mine by Mindy McGinnis, but this is something I put it on here, but I knew I probably wasn't going to get to it because I have something else up my sleeve that will work for this. So this will be back on my shelf just as a little thing here at the end. I was supposed to upload on like the 3rd of October, the book of the months. That did not happen. I was still sick, so then the 3rd to the 9th was supposed to be reading for Buzz Wordathon, which it was like elements. So I picked 3 books, which was The Winter People, The Water Cure, and Girls Burn Brighter. And I did not get to any of those. I didn't do any reading the 1st of October. So now I have officially started like reading for October. So get ready. I'm going to try my best. I don't know how this first weekly vlog is going to be because I haven't done anything except sleep and started reading. So anyways, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this video is not too long, but now we are all caught up. And hopefully things will go back to regular programming. This really threw a wrench in my 50 books, but that's okay. Life happens, things happen. I am still, if I can continue to try to YouTube through COVID, I think I'm pretty set. So just maybe lower expectations slightly for October. And hopefully by November, we'll be back full spring, full swing, full spirit. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Wherever you are, I hope you are healthy, happy, and loved. I'll see you next time. Bye.